Okay, so this is going to be our final video. I missed the last part of part 4, so I'm going to hit that first and then I'll hit the loanable funds market. So the last part of this is how do you calculate these changes in supply of money? Every single time, if you want to know the change in supply of money or how much the supply of money is impacted, you calculate excess reserves times the money multiplier, and that's the potential impact on the supply of money. Now, if you had a certain impact on supply of money before, a certain impact on supply of money after, you might have to compare those two potential changes in supply of money to get your total change, if that's what they're asking for. For the most part, they're just looking at how much can this bank or the banking system as a whole impact the supply of money as a result. So excess reserves times money multiplier gets you there every single time. If you don't know how to do that, look at my previous video. Okay. Know that bonds, when bonds are purchased or sold, have full impact on excess reserves. We talked about that. And then know for checkable deposits, you have to recalculate your reserves first. You have to recalculate excess and recalculate required reserves before you know how much can actually be lent out and how much of a multiplied impact. And remember, there's a difference between what an individual bank can do with money supply, what the banking system as a whole can do. An individual bank can only impact the supply of money by the excess reserves they have. So if I have $5,000 of excess reserves, I can only change the supply of money by $5,000 by giving out $5,000 of loans. However, the banking system as a whole has the full multiplied impact. So my multiplier is 10. When that $5,000 goes out, the banking system as a whole will continue to re-lend that same money over and over and over again 10 times until $50,000 of money is now, or new money, poof money, is now in circulation as a result. So keep that in mind as well. And then know, very important, that if a bank falls below the required reserves, they have a couple of options. Option number one is they can borrow from the Federal Reserve at the discount rate. Option two is they can borrow an overnight loan from another bank at the federal funds rate. Those are the two things that a bank can do when they fall below required reserves, which happens quite often. Okay, now part 5, our final part, is a loanable funds market. Loanable funds market is a little bit different than the money market. They are not the same thing, right? This is actually the real interest rate here, not just nominal, but the real interest rate. So remember, nominal interest rate is not corrected for inflation. Real is. And so we're looking at corrected for inflation here. We have our downward sloping demand. We have our upward sloping supply. Looks just like a run-of-the-mill market, except we're dealing with interest rates here, and that kicks out your interest rate and your quantity. So remember that what we really care about here, the biggest thing we care about, is discretionary deficit spending. When the government spends money they don't have. When that happens, it dramatically increases the demand of money, right? The Fed, or the government, sorry, is demanding billions and billions of dollars of money they don't have. And the way they get that is they access those excess reserves. So they demand those excess reserves, which are also called loanable funds. Same deal. So the demand is going to go to the right. When that demand shifts right, it kicks up our interest rate and up our quantity. When that interest rate rises, we know it has an inverse relationship with investment. So interest rate goes up, investment goes down. And so by the federal government buying goods that they can't afford, they actually crowd out private investment. Businesses are less likely to invest. Now, why do we talk about this here? We talk about it here because when expansionary monetary policy is happening, our goal is to lower the interest rate, right? But while we're also doing that easy money, increase in supply of money, interest rates are falling. At the same time, the government is participating in this deficit spending here. And so they're pushing the interest rate up. Interest rates going down in the money market, up in the loanable funds market. What's happening to interest rates? We don't know. And so this is an argument that, hey, the expansionary and contractionary monetary policy is actually undone by this crowding out effect with discretionary deficit spending by the government. Okay. No, there are other shifters. Demand will also shift if businesses expect greater returns, so they'll demand more loans. A supply will shift if people like you and me decide we want to save more money, put more money in the banks. When we do that, they have more excess reserves, which means they have more loanable funds. Okay. But the biggest thing we care about is that crowding out effect. Know it well. When the government spends money they don't have, they crowd out private investment, which hurts future economic growth. All right, that's the end of the unit. I hope these were helpful videos for you guys. Looking forward to the test tomorrow. I know you're not, but I am, and I hope you do very, 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 very well. All right, talk to you later.